Come in.
Dr. Smith, how you doing?
Nice to see you again.
Good to see you too, Alex. Thank you. How are you?
Good. Have a seat.
Good. It was nice to get to meet you at the antique car show, and when you bought that '69 Camaro, I was like, I think we can get along. And so my son and I are huge into model cars, and we were at Hobby Lobby last night getting our next model to build together, and I saw the exact model.
Wow, same color and everything.
So I wanted to give it to you so you could
maybe
put it together with your son.
Thank you very much.
You mind if I set my things on your table?
No, go ahead.
Spread them out. So you have the 350 in there, right?
Yeah.
4-speed manual?
Yep.
Very nice. Are we still good for the 20 minutes today?
Oh yes, and I wanted to talk to you about this. I
Okay.
actually checked my schedule, and I thought we had scheduled for next week.
For next week?
For next week.
Okay, I completely apologize. I talked with Sherry in the front office.
Okay.
And I confirmed the time with her.
Okay.
So maybe there's some miscommunication.
Yeah, that's
Is
fine.
this okay?
Yeah, that's okay. I spoke with her this morning because she was letting me know about my schedule. She said,
Okay.
"Hey, the meeting is today, so no problem. All we did was make a small rearrangement."
Okay,
But I
so
do
20
only have
minutes,
about 20
nothing more.
minutes.
I
Correct.
understand. And so what I wanted to do over the course of this call is just ask a few questions, go into a little bit of what ADP does. I mean, I only told you we did payroll, but what our product does, and then see if there's a fit, and maybe we can take a few steps
Yeah, of
together.
course.
Does that sound good?
Yep, sounds good to me.
Okay, so I want to ask a few questions. What does your buying process look like?
As far as
Who's involved? What's the time frame on it?
Okay. So it's mainly the two partners are myself and Rita, and
Okay.
she's unfortunately out of the town right now.
Okay. And do you know when she'll be back?
Middle of next week.
No, next week? Okay, great.
Yeah. She will be back at the middle of next week, but we make our decisions together.
Okay.
So this is more of me getting comfortable with it because she wants me to handle it. My son is the one who takes care of it currently.
Okay.
So I know somewhat of what goes on with that. I'm pretty hands off, but just more of the initial meeting, and obviously the decision is made with us together.
And what are your decision criteria for a process like this?
Obviously, it's something that has to obviously improve our practice.
Okay.
Right now, we're kind of struggling with what we have currently.
Okay.
So we're definitely looking for something to help maximize our efficiency and overall productivity.
Efficiency and productivity. Great. And so if I can show you a way how ADP Run can help improve that efficiency and productivity, as well as cut risks, and actually maybe even cut costs, would that be interesting?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay,
I'd love
great.
to hear about it.
How do you currently handle your payroll?
My son actually
Your son?
does everything. Yep, Michael does absolutely everything. I let him handle payroll, HR, and all the responsibilities that come with it.
Okay.
He's here part-time, and I pay him for that.
Okay, and do you pay him hourly, or how does that work?
Yeah, he's pretty much on an hourly basis, but on average, it comes around to about $30,000 a year.
30,000. Okay. And does he have any experience in processing payroll or any kind of HR stuff?
From what he's learned, yeah, he's done a lot of research.
Okay.
He obviously tries to keep up with the laws as often as possible, but it's more or less not so much as a background to him, but more research going on.
So is he learning as he goes, kind of thing?
That's correct.
Okay, and how often do you process your payroll?
Bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly?
Yeah.
And you said you have 35 employees, is that still correct?
Correct. Yeah, we have 20 in our Waco location and 15 in our Belmont location.
Okay. And so you said your son processes the payroll, but how does he do? Does he use QuickBooks? Does he use Intuit?
Yeah, so it's just a Microsoft GP software that he works with. It's very basic. It's very cumbersome, very time consuming.
Okay, and that's where that efficiency comes in?
That's where that efficiency comes in. If I could have something that could really just even cut his time in half, he would have enough time to do what he wants to do, and then also come back and try to allocate that time somewhere else within the practice.
I understand. How much time would you say he spends on the payroll every week, maybe every 2 weeks?
I measure it quarterly. It's about
quarterly?
10 to 20 hours quarterly. It seems like, yeah.
10 to 20 hours quarterly.
Yeah.
Okay. Have there ever been any issues with your payroll at all?
We've had some slip-ups, some mistakes. Again, it's a learning process. It's something when he first got on, he was learning as he went. So kind of like high school, hard knocks. You make a mistake, you learn from it, you build off of it, you continue going. So that's kind of how we went from there.
Okay. And so how does that affect your business?
Well, obviously there's with some of the mistakes, there's been some small fines.
Okay.
That financially affects us. But again, this kind of him working it and doing it all, especially having two offices, he's spread real thin. So just not enough hours in the day to take care of everything.
Okay, and so did your fine come from an audit?
Yeah, just going back and backdating some of the pay and just finding some discrepancies between the reports that have been running and the ones that we submitted to.
Okay, and so who takes liability for that? Is that the office, I would imagine?
Yeah, it's the office. Yeah, it's us that takes liability. Obviously, he's the one who's in control and does everything, but inevitably it's the ones we own the practices. So.
Okay. And what do you like about your current payroll system?
It works.
It works?
Yeah, it works. I mean, it does. It gets the job done. Not as well as I'd like it to get it done, but it gets the job done. Again, going back to the efficiency, if it was more efficient, I think it'd definitely be an improvement, which is why we're talking today to hopefully find a solution.
Okay, and so what would you rate on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being bad, 10 being perfect?
5. It's
5.
middle of the road. Like I said, it gets the job done, but not as well as I think it could.
Okay, and so to get to that 8 or 9 or 10, what I'm hearing is that you just want efficiency. Do you want some compliance issues with that too, in terms of full liability taken away?
Yeah, I mean, if I could find something that could really just wrap it up,
Okay.
get everything taken care of it. I'm very hands off. My trade is to do dentistry. The way I make my production, the way I make a living is dentistry. So anytime that I take away from dentistry to go back and do the HR stuff is money out of my pocket. So
Okay.
I want it to just be taken care of.
Okay, so you, from my understanding, you just want to be able to clean teeth, put braces on, and then have
That's right.
Michael worry about everything else.
That's right.
And so Michael's the head of HR. Does he stay on top of like ever-changing labor laws, or?
Like I said, he tries to keep
go?
as up to date with the laws as possible.
Okay. And do you have an employee handbook or
We do.
job description? Okay, perfect. Great. And how do you keep track of your hours?
But right now we have kind of a clock in, clock out system
Okay.
For our hourly pay, for our hourly employees, and we also have production employees, and that's based off of solely numbers. We run reports at the end of the month that show what per provider, and each one of those have their own provider, and they, based on the amount of production, they make a percentage off of it.
Okay, so there's commission-based, there's also hourly.
Correct.
Okay. And then how do you like your current system? Is that working?
That
well for
system
you?
works. Yeah, I like the system that we have in the office as far as pay goes. Works.
Okay, and are those your payroll and your time management? Do those work together well, or is that is there a conversion that has to happen?
As far as check in, check out. Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that could be a little more integrated. Obviously, the software it's limited by I guess its age and just kind of what it does. I know there's software out there that can really integrate everything together. The software's a little bit limited with that.
Okay. And so, what does success look for Dr. Smith and for your practice?
Man, just kind of work smarter, not harder. You know, I want to be able to put in the same amount of hours that I'm putting in right now, but be more productive. Mm-hmm. With that, I need a team that's there to dedicate themselves into the practice and to make sure they take care of all of their daily needs, or my daily needs and the office's daily needs. That goes back to my son. You know, I don't know if he's going to stay or if he's going to go. Okay. He wants to go to culinary school. He likes working for me, but it's kind of a which one is he going to do? So he could leave. With the time that he does have with me, I don't want to spend on all the HR stuff. That's what he does. But if he could do some other things and wrap it in the same amount of time and still get the HR stuff done, that would be the ideal situation.
So you're kind of in a transitional phase from having your son to him going to culinary school, and you need this payroll and this HR taken care of kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so in the past few minutes, we've got an understanding more of your business with the efficiency, the effectiveness of using your payroll, maybe something with the time management system to go in with that, as well as the HR function. If I can show you a way how ADP run can help you with that, would that be of interest?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And so when we were talking on Saturday at the car show, we were talking about what we do. I said I do payroll, and payroll is actually just about 10% of what we do. And so this is a good demonstration of what all the things we do, whether it's the tax compliance, whether that's the HR function that we were talking about, or the EasyLM time management solution. Is there anything on there that surprises you?
Yeah, retirement services.
Retirement services.
Insurance services, kind of having that all wrapped in, yeah.
Okay, so do you offer workers' comp or do you offer benefits for your employees?
I mean, yeah, we do.
Okay.
I know that's important to some of our employees. We don't offer retirement services right now.
Okay.
As far as insurance services, we partner with an outside third party for that as well.
And so is the retirement something that you'd be interested in implementing?
Yeah, I mean, if it was an option,
okay.
and being able to implement it into this package where it didn't cost me an arm and a leg.
It cost me too.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
okay, so something like a simple IRA or 401k?
Correct.
With low matching?
Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of insurance for workers' comp, you said you have a policy, correct?
Yeah, it's with third party.
With third party?
Yeah.
How's that going? Are you married to them, or is that just your workers' comp broker?
And it's just who we're dealing with right now. It's just a broker, so.
Okay. Well, that's something that everything integrates into payroll. I can see it's right in the middle. we're able to shop for workers' comp rates as a 600,000 man company as opposed to a 35-man dental office, so we can get a little better rates. The same thing goes for the retirement in terms of everything integrates with the payroll, and so it's really easy and efficient. I know that's something you were concerned about.
Of course.
So everything is in this payroll and what I'm about to show you. So I'll actually show you. This is what you'd be logging into. And so if you want to click on the client login, this is ADP Run. So you'll put in your username and your password. Everything is 128-bit encryption, which is protected by L3, which is the same thing that the government and the banks use. So everything is completely safe and secure.
Okay, great. I was going to ask that question about security because I know I did a little bit of research. I knew it was a cloud-based system. I knew it was an online feature. I knew it was a mobile solution. What came to question is if I lost my cell phone and the information was on my cell phone, how would that be secured?
So are you saying like if you lost your cell phone, where the information would go?
Well, if I lost my cell phone,
okay,
and somebody found my cell phone, could they get on there and get the information?
Well, yes. Well, no, they can't. But the way it works is that we have a mobile application, and so you'll have to log in with your information again. So, I mean, they'll be able to get...
Could they hack in and get it?
No, they cannot.
Okay.
And if that happens, this is where our relationship comes in, and you say, hey, Alex, my phone got jacked. I need some help here. That's where our relationship comes in. And it's like, okay, well, I can take care of it for you. I can shut down your account and get a new one, make it completely pain-free and hassle-free for you, so you can keep cleaning those teeth.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Thank you.
Okay. So this is where you will be at when you log in, and so you have these different tabs up here. You have this payroll home. This is our bread and butter. This is where the payroll happens, and then also you have this employee tab up here. And so here you have your different employees. All their information is going to populate. Do you offer direct deposit?
Currently, no, we don't.
Okay, and so that's something that we offer for employees, which is a good benefit, just to make them a little more satisfied and keep them in your company.
Okay.
And so this is where their employee information is, and we can put direct deposit up to 4 accounts on this. And then also the employee access tab is huge. And so do you ever have employees that come up to you, like your hygienist, and say, hey, I need to buy a car, can I get your pay stubs? Or like my previous W-2?
Yeah, kind of getting like a loan or something, yeah, correct.
Mm-hmm. So this is where that efficiency comes back into play, where you don't have to worry about anything. You can allow them to have access to it, and so they can actually access their own files, and so it's not, they don't have to go to Michael and dig through the Microsoft system. They don't have to go to you and say, hey, can I have the past 6 checks that I cut? And so it just gives you that little like hassle-free like efficiency and effectiveness that you're looking for. And also you have the company tab, and so everything with ADP Run is integrated to your business. And so I know when we talked at the car show, you're looking into a third location. Is that still correct?
We're trying. You know, like I said, my son is part-time right now. We had one location. It was a lot better than what we are right now.
Okay.
2 locations. He's spread pretty thin. If we do end up going out into a 3rd location, I'm going to have to hire my son on full-time. Okay. Again, with his goals and aspirations, I trust him, pretty much him alone, as far as it goes with a person dealing with him, to handle my HR. But if we end up getting 3 locations, I'm definitely going to need to look into something else.
Okay, I understand. One quick thing, this is not a replacement of your son at all. This is a tool that he can use to be more efficient and more effective, like we were talking about earlier, and a tool that we assume 100% liability for all the payroll. So it helps you with being able to sleep at night about payroll. Okay, and so for this, you'll have all 3 locations populate, and so you can have your checks signed and stuff delivered to each location with those employees. So you don't have to be in the office on Friday if you don't want to. You can be on the golf course, and every employee is happy getting their checks all good to go. So could you see how that could help with your efficiency? Yeah. And then up here you have the reports. I'm not sure how much you dabble in your 941s and your 940s, but this is just a way to be able to oversee what's going on, and then also have your CPA access. Do you use a CPA?
I do.
Okay. Also have your CPA access this through the CPA accountant portal, and so you can have a little oversight, but then not have to worry about it.
Okay.
Cool. And then taxes, same deal with this. You can just see the taxes, have a little oversight, and then your general ledger. This is huge for the transition phase from Michael and that Microsoft system. This will interface directly with it, and so the transition takes about 20 minutes. So it's really efficient and really easy to use.
Okay.
Okay. And so actually now we're gonna run a sample payroll. If you want to click on Run Payroll for me. And so when you click on Run Payroll, you're going to have all your employees populate. And I know you said you had 2 different kinds of pay. Is that correct? With the commission?
Correct. Yeah, that's more of a commission-based compared to a salary-based.
Okay. And so we can split this by department. And so that way you can see what section you're on. Are you on a separate payroll for yourself as an executive, or?
Yeah, I pretty much come up on this one.
Okay, so is that something you'd be interested in, having more like a private
Yeah.
payroll? Okay, well, this is also something here too, we can privatize yourself and maybe Dr. Neer too.
Yeah.
Maybe you want that kind of separation, we can
No,
do
of
that
course,
here.
yeah, that'd be great to have.
And so what you would do is you can put in the rate, or you can put in the rate if they have like a different rate, but if it's gonna stay the same, it'll stay the same every time. Then you input the hours, and then the salary will always come up too. And then if you actually, I can show you here, if you click over a little bit, it'll show the like the paid time off, the work hours, sick days kind of thing. So it's really easy for you to keep track of. Does that seem like something that would be interesting to you?
Yeah.
Okay. And I know you're talking about the whole like time management system too. Is that if you implemented the EZLM system, this becomes automatic. You don't have to worry at all about this screen.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you want to hit next. Now this will go into subcontract. Do you do any subcontracting?
Well, yeah, so like when I built our second office, we dealt with a contractor to help build the office. Whenever I do any type of renovations, I do that. Whenever when I'm planning to build this third one, I'm going to go with a contractor as well.
So with your 1099s, you have to be tax compliant and make sure everything happens. And so for this is a really easy page just to do the subcontracting. If you ever have to do anything, maybe you open a fourth office down the line, that's something that's really easy for you to do. So if you hit next again, it'll go to the payroll preview screen.
Cool.
And so now it's calculating. This is where all the magic is happening. Now,
all the magic.
Yeah, all the magic. Now this is where everything will populate, and you can see your check figures, your number. Does that $14,000 in the payroll look right? If it doesn't, you can hit back and go edit it and find what went wrong.
Okay.
But if it does look right, you hit run payroll. And then right now, more magic's happening. And the checks are being printed, signed, and stuff, and being sent to each of your locations for your employees specifically, unless you do direct deposit.
Yeah.
So just
that's
like
something
that.
I definitely would like to offer,
Direct
because I
deposit.
want to make sure I have other ways of paying just in case.
Yeah, I understand.
They don't want direct deposit. So.
And so it's as easy as that.
What about, so we talked about making adjustments, going back, clicking, and inputting information. What about your training? How's your training? Is that pretty hands-on? Is it?
I completely understand. You mean in terms of being able to use the software? And okay.
Yeah.
That's a good thing you brought that up. When we would start processing your payroll, I would come in, because I'm your personal rep, I would come in when we start processing it, and I would walk you through each of these steps and show you the functions that the software is able to do. And so get you on board and be good to go, and I'll walk you through the first and second payroll.
Okay.
Does that help clarify your concern?
Yeah.
And if there's any problems at all,
and you'll always be, you're the main point of contact?
I'm always here.
Okay.
And I've signed a lot of dental offices up in the area,
Okay.
and so I'm always around too. So hey, Alex, there's a problem, give me a call, I'll be there.
No, that's good to know about the dental offices. I definitely love, if possible, to talk to them so I can get a referral.
Yeah, I actually was just at Tracy down at Central Texas. Do you know her?
I do.
Yeah, well, I can give you her business card. If you wanted to talk to her, I signed her
Wow,
up.
okay, that's perfect. That's exactly what I was wanting to do.
I signed her up about 2 weeks ago, and she is completely happy. She even did the EZLM system too. So it's a good example of maybe what we're looking at.
No, thank you. Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, it is.
And so when we've been talking about this, I'm thinking you're complete. We have 3 packages. We have the essential, we have the enhanced, and we have the complete. Okay. And so, I mean, you're a business, and so you have to look at the cost, you have to look at the benefit, the return.
Of course, yeah. It's got to make sure it has to make sense price-wise, or we're wasting both of our time.
Exactly. And so here we have the core features of payroll. We also have more of the compliance with garnishment payments. I don't know if you have any issues with new hire reporting. We can talk about that later. You also have all the payment options, whether it's ADB check, total pay card, whatnot, and then you also have HR functions. And so this is huge for your son, because he might not, maybe there might be a day where a log gets updated and then a problem happens. And this is actually, you have a dedicated HR specialist to your company. So hey, I mean, I got an employee that came in and she's drunk or something. Or I don't know if you have any issues with that, but you can call the HR specialist and they'll be like, okay, this is what needs to do. They'll walk you through it. So it's someone that you have contact with all the time, 24/7. And so when you're talking about your son kind of moving off to culinary school, this can help take the position of your son. Now you don't have to worry about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Speaking of cost, what is this? What's the cost of this?
Okay, I'm glad you asked. And so for you, here's the pricing sheet. For ADP Complete, for biweekly, for 50 employees, it's going to be about $200 for every time you process your payroll. And so when you look at that for your son, That means when your son is processing payroll, you said it takes about 10 to 20 hours quarterly.
Yeah.
If that moved down to 15 to 20 minutes, you'd have to pay him a lot less. And then also, if you open up that third location, the amount of money that you get back from not having an HR rep, can you see how it's a little bit less than that?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, great.
So you said $215 per time payroll. Is there like an annual set?
That's it.
Okay.
We have no hidden fees. It's no contract as well too. So it's not like your iPhone where you're stuck. You know,
that's good. That's definitely great to know.
If you get in there and you're like, I don't really like this. I mean, maybe it's not for me. That's fine. You just let me know, and we're good to go. No strings attached.
Perfect. No, I'm very, very interested now. Coming into it, I was about 30% kind of iffy. Now I'm more about 75-80% sure that this is something I would like to look at implementing into the practice. So what I'd like to do is for you to get with Sherry